fuck is up, everybody? Welcome back to DFW Metal Mayhem, most brutal podcast in the Metroplex, and we're about what, like 5, 6, 7 hours from last night's party that just got fucking wilded out.
Yeah,
the shit was fun. So you guys probably already know who this is. I really shouldn't have to tell you guys. If you know me, you definitely know my boy here. I'm talking about Mr. Reed Mills. Sir, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, so going back to that party, man, last night, for those who did not know, or who didn't pay attention to the massive promoting that was done, we had a house party here. It was Release the Fallen, Beer Break, KTCM from Houston, Texas, and Apophis, who jumped on last minute after I had a band drop out. And, man, that's kind of like one thing I love about you guys, is that Marco is always ready to hop on an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like whenever he gets the chance, and you're the same way. Because for anyone who really doesn't know, Reed also plays in Skull Archers. he's
Skull Archer sucks.
Yes. And this is why he's my favorite member, is because he acknowledges the suckage. But and the thing is, you are too. And so when you get two people like that in a band who are just ready, who are just itching, they're always itching, you get a band that you can always rely on. And it's great to be that band.
Yeah.
No matter no matter what facet it is. And it's as I said last night, I feel like Apophis is the most evolved band. Like from when they started and to where they are now, that like you guys have really created a mold. Like for the first time I saw Apophis, they, it was kind of like a, let's see where this goes. It was kind of like throwing like stones into the water.
Yeah.
And like, well, does this one skip across the lake? Okay, no. Does this one skip across the lake? Yeah, that bounced like once or twice.
Yeah.
Eventually, they found the rock that skipped across the pond.
Yeah.
I mean, with the lineup that with you now and Robbie, I mean, it's the black metal Avengers essentially. In a way. I don't know how. I don't know how else
I've actually never played a black metal band prior to Apophis. It's been a very interesting experience, and I like how they're highly experimental. They kind of break the mold a little bit of black metal, incorporate a little death and slam elements into it too.
Oh, it's because it's Marco. I mean,
Yeah.
like the dude has videos on YouTube of him doing like Alter Beast covers, like Meshuggah.
Yeah.
Like Marco's a guy who really challenges himself.
Yeah.
And again, that's what you need in a band. You need guys who are willing to get out of their comfort zone, just a little bit enough to where they need to find out where their weaknesses lie and where they can improve. I mean, that's how anyone improves, whether you're an athlete, a musician, or whatever. If you're not able to step out of your comfort zone just a little bit and find out where you can go and where you can't go, you're going to be stuck in the same place. And if you're stuck in the same place, how can you improve?
That's true.
So, but kind of dribbling backwards a little bit, one thing, and as I said, this is like your first black metal experience, but I mean, you're in a way, you're kind of a decorated musician. Like, even though before joining Skull Archer, I didn't know that you played in Social Kills or anything else. So, I kind of want to get like your background, like what got you started in this?
In music or in like metal?
Oh no, just in music in general.
Well, it all kind of started a long time ago by a family friend. I was given a CD. That CD was it's going to sound silly because I'm a metalhead, but my first ever CD that got me into music was The Best of the Electric Light Orchestra. I listened to them a lot, ELO, and then I listened to a lot of Steely Dan, and at first I started out in classic rock. I started out in classic rock. I started taking piano at a young age to learn music theory. I picked up bass at around age 13, and then I found myself kind of gearing more towards like the heavier stuff slowly. I got into Rage Against the Machine, and even, I know they're new metal, but Korn. Korn kind of bridged me into modern, and then I got into heavier bands like one of the Job for a Cowboy. This other deathcore band called Rose Funeral too. And I kind of just evolved, I found that and then after all that, I got conscripted by a punk band. And then all of a sudden I was into punk. It's kind of been a wild ride, because it's just, the genres I started with, I still listen to, but it's just, I've gotten thrown in everywhere except those.
Mm-hmm.
And I've loved it, frankly.
Oh no, it's great. And I mean, coming with the background, because when we were looking for a bass player after Anthony left the band, Timothy's like, dude, Reed Mills, you need to get in contact with them. You need to try to get this guy to come out. He's the best player best bass player. Wow, try saying that 5 times fast in the morning. That I've ever seen play. And I'll take Timothy's word on almost saying that, because Timothy himself is an excellent musician, and that guy knows goodness when he hears it, because he himself is great, even though he kind of narcs himself, as we all do. But I remember having you out, and we talked for a little bit, and then I let you set up, and I said, go to town, man. Like, I don't, because the thing is, I don't know shit. So I'm like, this guy knows way more than me. I'm just gonna let him have fun. So I'm like, go for it. Dude, you completely fucking threw me away. Like, just in the fucking 3-point half court in the fucking trash can. No effort. I was instantly sold. And it started something great, because you picked up the songs really quickly. And I love it when people do that, because it shows that you have the commitment and the heart to want to pursue something. And, you know, I mean, from a vocalist perspective, it definitely takes a lot less effort from me. Like, when I try to learn. Well, I mean, like, when I went to sing Exploder's Trench Warfare at Woods End that night, like, I've always been listening to that song. You know what I mean? And so I always knew the lyrics. It was just, okay, let's sing, let's put them in this place. And like, I had practice with the guys like 2 hours, and I had it down. You know what I mean? So, but you came in and you pretty much had, I believe, 3 of the 4 songs down by the first practice. And then the only reason why you didn't have the 4th one down was because none of us else really did, because we were still like a new lineup. We were still trying to learn the Skull Archer track. Yeah. But, and I mean, I thought that was great, but then you go and shop for Apophis. And they had a show like, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks, when you first auditioned?
6 days.
Yeah.
In a week.
Yeah, like 6 days. 6 days you went in and you pretty much played like a, what, 30-minute set?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Yeah, fuck,
5-song set.
Yeah, you learned their set in 6 days. Holy shit. I mean, I definitely try not to kiss ass on you, but that's crazy.
To be fair, my bass lines were very bare bones, and I didn't play much outside of the root notes and what I needed to, and it just kind of kept the rhythm. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. It's just, I've always knew that one day, as a musician, that day would come up where a band needs me to fill in, and I had to learn their stuff in like a very short period of time.
And shit, dude, that's what makes or breaks musicians. That's again like an up to the challenge type deal. Like, you know. It's a great test for anybody. Like, can you learn this material this quickly before this show? And then can you play this show? And you guys got a really good reception for a show that was, I believe it was like Forget Conformity, like Monsters Made Me, a couple other bands. So it was kind of more in that core, like kind of hard rocky area. So it was definitely not the center mold, and it's definitely a show that you normally wouldn't see a Apophis on, but you guys had really good recognition apparently at that. Like, the crowd reaction was really nice. Like, people at the front were just getting it. Yeah. I know this because there's a video posted of your debut show. It was great. I fucking loved it. I fucking shared the shit out of it. It was awesome.
Sometimes outlier band in a set isn't a bad thing. I mean,
of course.
I guess from booking purposes, it's kind of it's not your crowd, so you won't retain many fans. But my little band, Social Kills, for some reason, we first played, we integrated with the indie rock community more so than the punk, and we would just crash shows. It was amazing.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, we played this one show at this I don't know, it's not even a venue. It's a storage shed in Fort Worth called the Alamo. And
holy fuck.
Follow before us, it was a bunch of people with acoustic guitars, a couple of like 3-piece indie rock bands, and we just came in and we started a pit, got beer bottles thrown. I think a window was broken, and the cops were called on us. So it's,
damn.
What I'm trying to say is I like being an outlier band in some shows.
It's great, like, and I do too. Like, Skull Archer, our third show ever was opening up for Deicide, and it was us, Empty Show, and Demon Seed that were opening up for Deicide. So we're the only like thrash band, and like we're the only one, and we were the only one with lyrics that weren't like low gurgles, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trashing all those girls because I love them, and if I knew how to do them, I would. I would totally be in a death metal band if I could. So I'm definitely not knocking it. But then after that, like today, a year ago, because on July 7th, we played with Empty Shell, Gruesome Fate, Interment, and Embalmed. So that was all death metal, and then us. Like, I love it too. It's great. And the TXDM crowd draws. Like, the people that really like Texas death metal and have that shit tattooed on their shoulders, and like, they fucking come out in heaves. So, I mean, anything to pick up that fan base too. You know, I mean that's why Chemicals is so popular in a way. Is because they're a thrash band, but they have so much death metal influence that they draw that TXDM crowd. And I'm not trying to specifically draw crowds like these X amount of crowds, but like, fuck, I wouldn't mind playing a show with a bunch of punk bands or a bunch of core bands. I wanna like, you know, draw everyone in, you know. And I mean, with you, I know we can get that done because you are someone who literally says, I really won't say no to a show unless it is physically impossible for me to be there. Like, you know.
That's my mantra.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely try to be that way too. If I can make it to a show, I would. You know, and now we're in that period where we're trying out the drummer still. We have one more session with them, and then we're going to find out if he works for us or not. And then we're going to try to book shows. I was probably thinking maybe like late August could probably be a good enough time to make sure we get everything tidied up in a bow. And then we can do a show like every month. And then we have DRI in November.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be sick. I personally can't wait. And hopefully we can kind of, you know, get that album out. I would really like to start recording. Like, that's what I'm itching for personally, because I've never been in a recording studio. I've never went through the process. Yeah. I just can't wait to get a headache from it and just be like, oh my god, why is everything going wrong?
Yeah, recording's tough. It's one of my bigger weaknesses as a musician, to be honest. Being put on, it's like, I see that little red light come on over here. All right, you're live. What do I do?
Shit. Oh wait, so you have been on you have been on recordings before.
Yeah, my old band Social Kills. We recorded a couple times. First it was a kind of a demo-esque album, and the second one was an actual album. So.
Oh shit! Can you find that anywhere?
Yeah, it's on I think it's on YouTube, Spotify, and stuff like that until the end of this year. I mean, we're not active anymore, but
yeah,
we paid for to have our stuff hosted for a year. So.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right. And in Social Kills, you were one of the members in Social Kills as well. Was one of the people from Corkscrew, right?
Yeah, Corkscrew knows that. Hunter was our drummer.
Holy shit!
He started Corkscrew like kind of is like a phoenix from the ashes of Social Kills, and it's worked out well for him. I'm happy for the guy.
Oh yeah, no. Corkscrew is not your typical punk band. They play all styles of punk, like the really hardcore, like skater punk, and then they can do that. But then they can do the pop punk pretty well too. Like they definitely are able to kind of like fluctuate around and like juggle the subgenres of punk. Because like punk is something that like, you know, I didn't get into till recently. Yeah. So I just thought punk was punk. Yeah. But man, there's like so much like different fucking levels of it. There's like pop punk, you have crust punk, and skater punk. Fucking and then like, you know, for the people who really take it to the edge, grindcore is like the most like formed out, aggressive and raw form of punk that can like be made. So like, I remember the first time I heard Nails. Holy shit, Todd Duffy is so sick.
I love Nails.
Oh my god, the first time I heard him was actually not in Nails, but in that Soulfly album, the one that came out in 2015, he did a song. He was featured on a song in Soulfly. I think it was called like Sodomites, and he's just getting it on these fucking girls, and Max Cavalera's just like right behind him. It's really good. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? I like searched him up, and then that's when they came out with that single "You Will Never Be One of Us," and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that fucking drum line was nasty. And how the way it just ended. Like, grindcore is on some next level shit. And we have a lot of really good grindcore bands too, like Vault Dweller and Empty Shell, Cognizant. So it's crazy because I didn't know about all this shit. You know, not until I started going out to the scene more and finding out about all these other like genres and shit. I'm like, holy shit, dude, I'm like in knee deep in this shit. I have to go home and now research everything.
Really, it's just genres are genres, but I think every band kind of has its own spin on it. Like kind of, I don't know. Social Kills was kind of more. I would literally call it stoner punk.
Ooh.
Because we our music was aggressive, but our vocalist kind of favored a oh so slightly kind of melancholy style of vocals because he was really influenced by Queens of the Stone Age and Josh Homme. And we incorporated some of that stoner rock into it, and a couple of our songs were tuned down to like C.
Oh shit.
And we kind of experimented more, so it's kind of, every band has its own spin.
Holy fuck. Yeah, and I agree, like, last episode with Christopher I talked about that, where I'm like, the great thing about, because like obviously the bread and butter of the scene, like the part of the scene that gets the most heads going out is the TXDM scene. Like in terms of some Fate and Bombed, Steinax, you know, Iron Destruction, Reviled, those are the bands that are getting like the most heads. Because you know, it's been a thing here since like '89. But the thing is, I feel like our thrash scene here is the most vibrant. It's the most colorful, and it has the most different angles. Like, I can't think of not only a DFW-based thrash band, I can't think of a Texas thrash band that sounds similar to another Texas thrash band. Like, I think maybe the closest you're going to get is us and Exploder. I think that's the closest you can reasonably get. But like, if you're like, oh, Exploder sounds a lot like Electric Vengeance, like, no, they don't. Like, Electric Vengeance sounds a lot like Chemicals. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, exactly. And like, we sound nothing near any of those bands, maybe except Exploder.
I wouldn't even say that. I think Skull Archer is, I mean this as a compliment, is a little more gritty than Exploder is. Exploder's kind of more that heavy aspect to it, while Skull Archer's more the chaotic aspect.
Yeah.
I get that vibe from, there's a difference between the two.
Yeah, we dabble in chaos, because I kind of like it. Like, I kind of like attacking everyone at different angles. That's why we have a song as fast and as fucking wild as Thrill Hunt. Yeah. We have a song that is such doomy and intense as Exile. Or then we have fucking Branded, which is just like fucking, we threw everything. And I'm telling you, I keep telling everyone, and I'll never stop saying it, I really feel like that Branded is our best tune. And I think it's our best tune because that was the coalition of everybody coming together and writing. We all had a hand in that song, and it was great. Like, dude, the fucking bass line you threw in for the Heretics for, I can't get enough of that shit. I fucking, like when we're performing on stage, I stop to listen to it. I just look at you, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, and then like all the stomps. You know me, I love stomping shit. So like, if I can incorporate stompy shit, I'm sold. Another great thing that I find really valuable in you is your ability to perceive and then add stuff to what you perceive. And not only that, I mean, like, the best example was when I just showed you lyrics to the song. And I'm like, you know, I kind of wrote this, I really don't have any ideas for it. You're like, and you said, hey, send me a message. And I sent it to you. And then you sent me a video maybe like 2 or 3 days later, and you had a riff for that shit. And you're like, oh, this is ghost written, by the way. I'm done. I'm like, wait, what? What is ghost written? Oh, I have riffs for the entire song. I'm like, what? Like, it blew my mind. And now, like, and obviously we're kind of working on it, but you know, we're trying to catch up. Our the drummer we're trying out to speed first. But I mean, we've already shown the other guys some of the riffs and everything, and we fit in some of the vocals already. And like, dude, like, I don't know, like, I've never had that before. I've never had that happen. Alberto was the only other person in the band that has ever done something like that for us. You know, I would say Nick, but Nick had material that he brought previously, and so he's like, oh yeah, we can just incorporate this, and I'm like, fuck yeah, we can do that. But Alberto and you were like the two people that really just like stormed ideas and just threw them out on the forefront. And like, I fucking love it because it shows when we all like, because we all listen to it. You're like, oh fuck yeah! And then you get Jacob and David learning it, and it was just magic. It just kind of formed in itself. And Brandon took, what, like 2 months to write? Like, to actually get everything down and sequence correctly?
It took about a month to write and another month to perfect.
Yeah, essentially. And, like, but it was stuff like that.
Yeah.
That really defines chemistry. Is, like, and, like, I feel like it was the right amount of time to, like, get everything down and make sure that we have the best product out.
Yeah.
Another thing I really kind of, one thing I really want to get into about because, you know, normally when I have bands on, I talk about like their influence, like who, like influence them. So like, I just want to know like who influences like your style of bass playing, your stage presence.
Well, my stage presence is 100% Dee Ramone.
Yes.
I typically, if you look at videos of my old punk band, I was a lot more active because what I was playing was a lot simpler. And I like typically, and I'll get to this in Skull Archer and Apophis eventually too, but I like jumping around. I like being active, and well, Skull Archer also has 5 people on the stage, so that kind of inhibits it a little bit. But
Apophis does too.
Yeah, Apophis does too. But you know, Dee Ramone is definitely my my stage influence and my playing influence too. Because when I played punk, I used to use a pick, which I'm not very good with a pick, but it didn't feel right playing punk finger style.
Yeah.
And then what's it called? My some of my actual influence, you know, the obvious ones: Cliff Burton, Les Claypool.
Oh yeah.
Some of my other influences, bass players will know this one: Victor Wooten. Jaco Pastorius is another big one on me. Actually, the guy who got me into bass was Robert Trujillo.
Oh, okay.
More for his stuff in Infectious Grooves and in Metallica, but
yeah.
But and Suicidal, obviously, but.
Oh yeah.
Robert Trujillo was the one who really just, I want to play this instrument. Because I just thought that I was like 14 at the time. I thought he was the coolest dude ever.
Oh yeah, and like his bass playing was unique at the time because like he would get like really low to the ground, and like had this just weird, just like silverback gorilla look to him.
Yeah.
Where he would just like death staring you from down. It was wild. I mean, he still kind of has that today, even though, you know, he's obviously put on some years. And when you're, you know, playing a lot of stadium shows, you kind of get a little complacent. So he's definitely chilled out a little bit since like his days in like the early '90s and shit. But yeah, that dude was an example of pure aggression on stage.
Yeah.
In some varying degrees, like, and I appreciate that as someone who tries, you know. I try to have, like, I love when we perform because we all are doing something on stage. You know, Jacob is, like, I remember the fucking Brandon Heretic video from when we first played it at Reno's. And that dude was, Bruce was recording it from the side. And, like, you just saw Jacob, like, as soon as the fucking stomp kicked, and he does, like, this weird front kick, like, moves his head in and back and just... I don't like the movement that he had on stage that night was actually really cool. And I was trying to move around too, but, like, Reno's was kind of a small stage. And, like, I felt the wind of David's, like, neck, like guitar neck a couple times, like, oh shit. Don't get concussed on stage.
That'd be pretty metal, honestly.
It would.
But it would suck.
Had to drag me out though. I don't know how that would grow. But I mean, you popped up. Like, the thing is, in a lot of ways, you kind of remind me of myself when I first came to the scene, because I kind of just jumped into it. Like, Nathan brought me out after I was recovered from my ACL surgery. And after I recovered from it, like just after, he took me out to a show, because I was really depressed. I was like having hair come out of my head, I wasn't getting any sleep, I wasn't eating that great, really stressing. I remember going to that show. I had like a little brace on to make sure I'd be okay. And I eventually just, that show hit me hard. It was like Wormchasm, Tyrannosaurus. I believe Psychiatric Regurgitation played that too. And after that, dude, I kind of just got into it really deep. I re-met up with Brandon and from Electric Vengeance, because I saw him previously and his band previously. Same thing with Jacob and Exploder, because I saw them previously when they were going for Overkill back in 2014, I think. Which, by the way, I really want to open up for Overkill one day. If we ever get that offer, I'm going to send that to you ASAP. But I hopped into it, dude, and I just got to meet a lot of people and befriend a lot of people, and it was great. And, like, you did the same thing, dude, like, right after our debut show. I remember getting off stage and helping everyone load out, and then coming back to the merch table, and, like, you were talking to a bunch of people for, like, the first time. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's rad as shit. And then, like, you know, we kept going to shows together. Like, we went to the Dead Rising's last show.
Yeah, that was an amazing show.
I think that's my favorite show of last year. Or actually, I think that's probably like that's in my top 3 favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
That show was amazing. But I remember like you were talking to a bunch of people there too. And then like all the other shows we played, you're really getting well acquainted for everyone. And now it's just kind of like everyone just knows you now. And it's great. I love that because now everyone knows what you're about. And I don't know, I gotta really thank Tim because, you know, Tim kind of turned everything on for this to happen. Yeah. So we fucking love you, dude. You need to like get back into music like soon because we'll support that shit. You let us know. Yeah. Fuck. I mean, that dude has so many good ideas. Like, he showed me, like, all his, like, he showed me some lyrics that he wrote for, like, hip-hop, some ideas he had for, like, you know, he really wants to start a band with more of, like, a Slipknot, Lamb of God influence, because, you know, that's his bread and his butter. Yeah. I mean, he showed me some really good ideas. Dude's really good at writing, like, lyrics. He's really good at writing lyrics. Like, I really, really hope he gets back into it because, man, that dude has massive potential. I mean, and if he comes out and he says, I'm looking for people, you know people are going to want to go to him, especially to see him playing Skull Archer. Yeah. This silence brought to you by marijuana. I stole that from Joe Rogan. I've been watching a lot of Joe Rogan recently, actually. Like, well, not watching, but like, you know, listening to his podcast when I'm driving down the road and shit. Have you ever like listened to an episode? Okay, so, but you know of him, right? Like, like stand-up, fucking UFC commentator, Fear Factory host. That dude is fucking hilarious. Like, there's like compilation videos you can watch on YouTube of him in his podcast with like various guests. It's like a compilation of him like watching like videos on the internet, and like most of them are like animals fighting each other, or like attacking humans, or just showing like phenomenal like virtues of strength and stealth and all that. It's like, man, that fucking chimpanzee is like, that's a 400-pound fucking muscle tank. That thing will fucking tear you up. Like, so like he'll talk about like how fucking badass shit is, or then like he likes to have like a bunch of people who are like really educated about drugs and psychedelics. So you get all these people just talking about like what the inner and outer workings like psychedelics can do and all that shit. I mean, honestly, he talks about like MMA because, you know, he's a UFC commentator. But that guy, dude, like among just being a great stand-up, I can't get enough of that shit. Like, he had Joey Diaz on yesterday when I was working yesterday afternoon, and God, they were just talking about they were just sharing stories about how like parents back then would just beat the fuck out of their kids. Like two kids be fighting outside in the fucking on the street in New York, and then like fucking Joey would fucking jump on this dude and beat the shit out of him, and then the kid would go bring his dad, and his dad would come out and punch Joey in the face, like, you punch my kid again, I'm gonna fuck you up. And he actually grabbed him and took him to his mom and told her the same thing, and she apparently chased him out with a butcher knife. Some crazy shit, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. I totally recommend if you have like hours to kill or you're just driving, you have like a USB port, fuck, do that shit, and it's hilarious. I don't know. I watch a bunch of crazy shit. So one thing, because I guess the Apophis thing kind of just happened.
Yo, yeah, it just happened. Like, I was at work. I was on lunch break at work when I saw Al post about that they needed a bass player. Al Como.
Yeah. That's my boy.
Yeah. I saw him post that Apophis 26 needs a bass player. I was like, I wonder what genre they are, because, you know, I've played in bands where I'm not peculiar about the genre because I love all genres of music. But I was like, I'll check these guys out. I'll see what they are. I saw their picture. I was like, hey, this looks like a Motley Crue. And then I go into their thing. It said avant-garde black metal, and I was like, this sounds really interesting. And I shot them a message almost immediately.
Fuck yeah. I think right around that time I actually was like, I could be wrong, I think I sent Marco a message and I'm like, dude, try to hit up my boy. I
appreciate it.
I'm pretty sure that happened around like the same sequence. I'm not 100% sure, but it was just magic. And so I guess you go in and you just try out, and I guess that first try it was just set in stone. Like, yeah, welcome to the band. Holy fuck.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So okay, so it's pretty much just like us.
Yeah.
Wow. See, this guy's so good. He's just getting in up to one rehearsal.
I credit my bass playing skills to Mr. Jeffrey Paul Allen. He was my instructor. I'm his student. If you ever watch this, Jeff, shout out.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Always good to shout out to people who teach. But, real quick, I do kind of want to get into Apophis' upcoming shows. I mean, if you know, I know you guys play tonight, right?
Yeah, we play tonight at Tomcats.
Which, by the way, if you're watching this, they played yesterday because I'm not magic. But it's gonna be at Tomcats. That's right. You're playing with fuck, I don't even remember. But but is there anything else scheduled beyond that?
Yes, we're playing September 1st. I don't remember the lineup of that show off the top.
Isn't that the one at Reno's? It's like a Joshua Mosh memorial.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's a memorial dedicated to Josh.
We're also playing on Nathan Kramer's birthday on I think the 27th.
Yeah, that's right. You are. I think it's like the 21st. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure because Nathan and I were talking about it last night. Like, okay, yeah, we'll share a band for our birthday shows. That's cool. But you guys helped on that house party last minute. Again, I really appreciate that because it just shows that you guys are always itching and ready to go. Nathan's a great guy. Yeah. I fucking love Nathan. He's done a lot of really good work for me. He's also the reason why I'm in this scene in the first place, like hardcore. He was the co-host of this for a while and helped me kind of mold it together. Great guy. So I'm really happy that he was able to get a party booked and really good lineup. It's you guys, Crop Dust, Silver Tongue Devil, and Cesspool of Corruption.
Dude, that lineup is so killer.
I fucking love, dude. Every time I see Cesspool play, I lose it because they're so technically sound. Like, the thing about a band like that is every member is an absolute genius at what they're doing. Like, Brennan can pretty much do almost any drumming technique. Palm muting, fucking his blast beats with both his wrist and his fingers are just nuts. I mean that kid is on some next level shit. He's young too. Mike and Matt, obviously, growing up together, those guys have always been able to just, kind of feed off each other. Blake's brilliant too. I mean, that's just a band that just exudes talent. Like, they ooze that shit. They walk around and it fucking drips off on the fucking concrete and melts the concrete. Yeah, Silver Tongue and Crop Dust are staples. I mean, those are guys that are always playing, you always see them out. You can tell those are two bands that are doing it purely for having fun.
Yeah.
I couldn't play every week. I would like to, it sounds great, but like, ooh, man, I get tired. I would it'd be hard pressed to find time too. Like, because like, I don't know, like, the one main con I see in that is, like, how do you have enough time to really commit to writing new material if, like, you're practicing every week? I mean, like, because the thing is, if you're practicing to get ready for a show, how much time can you really put into new material?
I mean, it depends on the band and the people in the band. I mean, I feel like I could probably do that because my bass is in my hand pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is how I do a lot of how I did that ghost writing for Skull Arch, and it's how I got to where I am today. It's just I'm always working, I'm always improving, and most of the time you write stuff, it's just accidental stuff while you're practicing. So hey, that sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, no, most of the like all the riffs that were written that I brought in were just like, I'm just like driving down the road during work and I just go da 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 da, and I'm like, fuck, that sounds so good. I need to do that. And then like an hour and a half later during lunch break, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That sounds good, but that sounds like it could lead into something. So I'm like, what can it lead into? I'm like, da 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 da. I'm like, oh well, actually let's speed it up a little bit. Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, there we go. And I'm like, okay, that's a bass intro type thing. That's a bass intro thing. Okay, so that's a bass thing. And then Jada would come in with the da 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 da. And then I think like a week later I came up with the da 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 da. It just comes out of nowhere. And actually I have a couple more that I did the other week that I'm kind of teetering with them and seeing if I like them or not. Because if I don't like it, I don't want to waste your time and show it to you. Because if I don't even like it, which I have a pretty low bar, then I'm just like, okay, that idea blows. I'll try to fix that. I mean, it's as you said, it comes naturally. Like, because I've noticed, and maybe it's just me, if I actually try to sit down and think of stuff, it takes so much longer. Because you're trying to focus on, you're forcing yourself to try to come up with something. Which sucks, because then you're making your brain go into overdrive.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're exhausting yourself mentally, and you're like, man, fuck this, and then you quit. And you don't, and if you do that, then that's a really negative approach on how you continue to write. And you don't want that to happen.
Yeah. That was just thinking, it's just like, all the bass lines I've written for Skull Archer and the new song we debuted yesterday with Apophis, I'm pretty sure I wrote both of those bass lines in my boxers while watching anime or some shit. It wasn't on the first of my mind. I was just sitting there doodling on my bass. I was like, hey, that's really cool. It's only happened on accident.
Yeah, which is great. It always should happen on accident. I mean, like, it's the most natural way of things to happen. And then we introduce it, and then, you know, because you introduce those ideas to your bandmates, and then they hear it for themselves, and then they have their own perceptions of it, and then they have their own views on how you can use that, transition to it, or transition from it. And that's how Branded is written. It was written in literally that sense, where we had, because Branded is literally a song of transitions and fucking riffage. Like, yeah. It's just like, all right, here's this stomp, here's this riff, stomp for me again, and then here's this fucking riff, you know? It's the appendum. Now, obviously, I would ask you for scholarship upcoming shows, but I mean, I would tell people that already. Which we still need to try out the drummer, which we haven't revealed yet to no one, but I'm pretty sure people are already kind of getting a clue because he did post one time that he was ready to jam, and he put his location in Grand Prairie. I'm pretty sure some people saw that and were like, so you know, we try him out. I really think that he'll probably get this last session in. I think, and I'm gonna predict it. I think he'll be our next drummer, and I think from there.
Spoilers.
You know, possibly. Like, it's a prediction. I kind of, but like the last session went beautiful. It went really well. Yeah. And then I really do think that you know, as I said, late August, September, October, fucking DRI, and we're good to go. We're good to go. Well, Reed, it's been fun. We've been going at this for a while, and I fucking loved it. I mean, again, dude, you're super talented. You're one of my favorite people in the scene. I fucking love you to death, dude. I'm happy that we're doing shit together. I'm happy that you're expanding your forte out and being in other bands. I really do think that you are one of the best musicians that we have in the Metroplex. And I'm not just saying that because you're in my band. I'm saying that because you just came out of nowhere. And literally everyone has told me and told Marco, because Marco, I believe, told me this last night, or I could, I was kind of running around smoking a lot of weed. But I'm pretty sure someone in Apophis was like, yeah, dude, we can't lose Reed. I'm like, yeah, I know, I can't lose Reed either, dude. Holy fuck.
Thank you.
So, man, thank you so much for doing this. There will be no episode next week because I didn't have the time to find someone for that episode. But the week after, I have a new project is being made by some familiar faces who played the house party last night. So, a certain someone in that group showed me a new bonus, a track that they recorded, and it sounded really good. So not next episode, not next week, but the week after, I will show you guys who this new project is, and we're going to find out the 411 on when they're going to come out, when they're going to write music, and when we're going to see them play their debut show. So stick around for that. This has been DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex.